Hey, welcome back to another edition of Ego on Break. I'm your host, Jay Andrews. Got the madman sitting next to me, and we're going to talk about some results, some reviews, some things that happened over Labor Day weekend. So some big events definitely took place.
Yep.
The biggest event being All In, but AAW had a show, and then New South had a show down in Atlanta, and Chikara had King of Trios. So it was definitely a big weekend for wrestling. At Ego, we did a little private birthday party for our family, and that went pretty good. And we got the main event from that on our Facebook page, so you can check that out. And if you're interested in doing birthday parties, just get with us, and maybe we can work something out. But overall, just on a whole, no particulars, just how do you think the events that happened over the weekend fared? Do you think it was a success overall, especially with All In, and that type of thing?
Yeah, All In was definitely a success.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, we'll get to All In, toward the end.
I know there was one show. God, I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was OVW. What, did they have one?
I'm sure
somebody put up I know it's wherever Jimmy Blaylock was.
Yeah.
And it was a packed house.
Was it?
So yeah.
I know our friends over at New South, they took a big gamble, went over to Atlanta on a Sunday. So both of those were big gambles for them, because one, they have never been to Atlanta, and two, it's Sunday. Yeah. So and it's Labor Day weekend, and it's All In weekend, so but what I hear from it, I hear they got a new champion. Jonathan Gresham beat Baron Black.
Cool.
And then Ego wrestlers, Britt Jackson and Adam Priest were their tag team champions, and they were beat by The End, which is Otison and Perot. So Otis and Perot are new tag champions at New South, and Jonathan Gresham's new heavyweight champions. So real big things coming out of New South over the weekend. I don't know all the results, but I know Pride champion O'Shea Edwards was there, as he was the representative of Georgia. And a Lights, Camera, and Action had been feuding with Scenic, a guy that does a lot of things with indies around that area, and just kind of downing Atlanta and Georgia and that kind of thing. So O'Shea came in and taught him a lesson of how they do it in Georgia. So that some of that may float over to Ego, who knows? But absolutely. But I'm not sure how the crowd was or anything like that, but I'm sure just for it to happen was a success for us. So kudos to you guys over at New South. Chikara had King of Trios, and
I don't know any results from it.
Yeah, it is a 3-night weekend or a 3-night show or whatever, and I know the winners were the Resistance, which turned out to be the Colony, as Fire Ant accepted Thief Ant and Green Ant.
Who are the WWE stars besides Molly Holly? You know any?
Yeah, the Nexus was there. PJ Black, Fake John Cena, and Michael Tarver. So, or Black Cena and Michael Tarver.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah. What was his name?
I don't remember.
He was in Millions of Bucks or whatever.
Yeah, he was dozens of nickels.
Yeah, dozens of nickels. But
that's where it got him.
Yeah. But yeah, they did pretty good. They made the second round. Aja Pereira, who's been on Ego events, she was part of that, as she teamed with Mighty Molly Holly and Solo Darling. So that was really cool. And I don't know if there's any other. Yes, there were. Pierre Carl Ouellette was there, and he revived the pirate type character he had in WWE.
Did he?
Yeah.
Wow.
And there was two other pirate kind of based guys that was in his trios. So he was there. That may have been all the old name, the X names or whatever.
Curious, yeah.
But I thought it was really cool to see the Nexus. The Nexus even made it to the second round, so I thought that was cool. But I don't know how many people thought they would make it that far.
Well,
and I know
that's the biggest guys on the card.
I'm sure. Which I don't know. They have the Beast Warriors and like that. Those guys are pretty big. But they had a team from Australia. They had some girls from Japan, like the Tokyo Freedom Fighters or something like that. It was the trios. So it was definitely an international tournament, which their tournaments have been over the last few years.
Yeah, they always come in a lot.
But kudos to the ants. I'm a big ant fan, so I'm glad that there's actually a colony now, not just different ants floating around. Yeah, so it's always good when family can be together.
I like it when they keep them in threes.
Yeah.
To me, when they get like 97 ants.
Yeah, one time it was about 12 of them there. So
ridiculous.
You could have had a whole show based on ants.
It, honestly.
Right.
It was too much.
The official, unofficial, could be official. They wanted the official sponsor.
Not even.
So, but yeah, I mean, all in all, I think it was a great weekend for wrestling. The birthday party, we had Donnie Primetime face Mike Outlaw. And it was hilarious because the birthday party was for two adults, two men. They were turning. One guy was turning 40. I don't know how old the other guy was turning, but I'm assuming right around that same age. And but there's kids there, that kind of thing. So we definitely went all out. But Mike Outlaw came out, and he showed everyone exactly why he's called Outlaw. As he came out, he got the crowd. Hey, whoever makes the most noise, I'll give them my bandana. It's event worn memorabilia. Blah blah blah. So we were all into it. The kids were screaming, the adults were screaming, and so we picked this kid that was in the front row. He came in, and Mike's like, you know what? Tell your parents to buy you a bandana. Ain't nothing in this life free. Blah blah blah. So he just gave him a real life lesson, and the kid got upset and started crying. Awesome. So unfortunately, wasn't the only crime we saw that weekend, but
no. I heard a couple people wanted to cry this weekend. I wanted to do it 4 times.
Yeah, but it was pretty fun that Donnie Primetime came out and made the big save, blah blah blah, and after it was over with, the kid ended up with the bandana because that's how it works. So all in all, it was a good event. The birthday guys got to throw Sean Christopher into they had like a water slide type pool thing there, and he got threw into it by the birthday boys because Sean Christopher he was like, okay, who's the birthday guys, birthday kids or whatever, he was looking for them, and they were like, we are, and he's like, you two are having a wrestling birthday party, and they were like, yeah, and he's like, I hope this is your last one, I hope you die, and so then they threw him in the pool, and he couldn't swim, so but luckily one of them was a good Samaritan and pulled him out of the pool. Yeah,
he didn't bring his floaties.
So if you see Sean Christopher, don't throw him in the water. He can't swim. So,
or if you don't like him, throw him in the water.
Throw him in the water. If he tells you he hopes you die, throw him in the water.
Because he may get his own wish.
Yeah. So it was a fun weekend, and I got to catch a little bit of All In. I got to watch the WGN, the 0 hour, because I'm a cheapskate, and it was free. But
it was $40.
Yeah, it was $40. But I dug that our guy Marco Stunt, he was there. Jordan Grace was there. She's been through Mississippi a few times, and it was good. I think maybe they were like the last 8. Maybe they were in the top 8 before they were eliminated.
Jordan was in the last 4. I know that.
Yeah.
Marco, wasn't 8. It was still a few in there.
Was it? Yeah. He lasted longer than I thought.
Oh no, he lasted way longer. He kind of hang around outside a lot. That was the smartest thing.
Right. I know a lot of people are going to say the Tilt-A-Whirl Code Breaker is probably going to be his spot of the night, but for me, it was when Bully Ray chopped him and then held him over he tried to fall to the ground, but Bully Ray held him by his hair.
He picked that dude up by his throat, man. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, so to me, that was Marco's
he was going
moment.
down, and he pulled him back.
Right.
Up, and I'm just,
So I'm pretty sure at least some of his hair grew a couple inches that night.
Or he's got a bald spot.
Or he's got a bald spot. So for me, that was the Marco spot for me.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was intended to be, but it definitely stood out the most to me. So kudos to Marcos for still living, because after those chops, I don't know if I would have been.
And got through the floor like a rock.
Yeah. So he may be small, but he crashes hard. But what was your thoughts just on the overall? You watched the whole event.
Yeah.
Just on a whole, if you had to give it if you're Dave Meltzer and you're giving it a 1 through 5, the whole event, where do you put
I'd
it?
put it at a 5.
Would you?
As far as go watch it, yeah, I'd recommend the whole. I would.
So not quite a 6 on the 1 through 5, but definitely 5. Yeah.
But no, I would recommend go watch it. If you want something really good to watch that isn't WWE, go watch it.
Right. Let's not talk about the matches yet, but let's talk about people that were surprised people. Maybe they did something, maybe they did not, but just people that, that were on the event. Could you give us a rundown of guys that maybe wasn't advertised?
Well, two that really surprised me was Tully Blanchard and
Magnum TA.
Magnum TA coming out with his daughter.
Right.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
It just kind of threw me off, but I mean the announcers actually talked about him and everything. And then when the title match happened, each person had like a team of wrestlers.
Yeah.
And
it's almost like MMA style.
Glacier was one. Yeah, that's basically what it was.
Yeah.
They had like team jackets and crap. DDP was one. Tommy Dreamer was one. God, it was
Cody's dog was one.
Yeah, Cody's dog, for some weird reason, was one. But it was a lot of people, man.
Tim Storm was on the opposite side.
Yeah, that's who I was trying to think of.
That was very cool for me.
Yeah, I was trying to think of. They actually talked about him being the former NWA.
Yeah.
What is it? I can't. What title did he have at the time? Do you remember?
I don't.
North
American title.
Yeah. They talked about him being a former champion and all that.
Yeah, he was former heavyweight champion as well.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, that's who Nick Aldis beat.
And then Daivari, he was out there.
I saw Daivari there. That was cool.
And it was.
Yeah, I saw some pictures, some highlights.
People, yeah. So DDP come out and hit a cutter at one point. So
I know on the free show, like they opened it up with Cody and Young Bucks talking, just kind of saying, hey, we didn't think this would be. And he's like, we had promised pyro, so here's the pyro. So it was horrible pyro.
I like the overhead was crap, but the floor was okay.
Yeah, but it was like, what's a big event without a cameo from a former WWE star? And like Animal rides out, goes vroom vroom, and like backs back up. Like, so, like I got tickled just because it was so, like it was almost like a poke in the face to like indie promotions that use, the cameo from the random guy. So I kind of dug that. That tickled me, but.
And I guess Joey Ryan being in it because he technically wasn't advertised.
Right. Dalton Castle was there as a commentator for a match. Excalibur from PWG was there.
Mm-hmm. He called a lot of the show.
Yeah. So that was real cool.
Well, no, he called the whole show with Ian, and then somebody else would come out. Not every match, but damn near, yeah. And Cyrus come out. I think he called the last few.
Yeah.
Two women come out at one point. I'm so bad with names, I can't remember, but they come out for the four-way women's match.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all in all, it was definitely Jericho was a surprise.
Yeah, Jericho was definitely a surprise for Omega. So.
Yeah. Who else? I know there was more. God. Like, it was a bunch of people that was just like, hey, there they are. Like that maybe they didn't get involved, but they were just kind of there, like supporting it or whatever. So I definitely dug that. But you want to try to give a rundown of the matches if you remember them?
I can try.
God, I know SCU beat the Briscoes, and they had a heck of a match.
Yeah, that match was really good.
And SCU was super over there. Like I wasn't expecting SoCal Uncensored to be so over, but they were over with that crowd. So that was cool.
And then the winner of the
The Battle Royal was
Flip Gordon. I wasn't exactly all that thrilled with it, to be honest, with the winner. But he was dressed up like a luchador.
Yeah.
Got powerbomb through a table, stayed outside the whole match, and then come out and kind of did a cheap win.
Right.
So I really wanted Colt to win, and Colt got the most pops of the night, to me, in the battle.
Yeah.
So, he got a little bit of a highlight later on in the show, but I would rather see him.
Oh, yeah. Well, let me ask you, this was the big question that there was two big names that everybody was saying, oh, these guys are going to be there.
Punk.
Was Punk or Neville there?
No.
Okay.
That's what I saw.
Yeah. I know that was definitely like, you know, a lot of the
I've been
rumors.
expecting Punk since he quit. Man, shut up about him. Jesus.
Well, I think what
he's basically crapped all over pro wrestling.
Right, but he did an autograph signing like that Friday at Pro Wrestling.
He got his money and left.
So I think that's the reason people were expecting him to be there.
No, he got his money and got the hell out of Dodge, probably.
Yeah. But Neville nowhere to be seen. So I knew that was a long shot, but that was, you know, definitely somebody people. Was Kevin Owens was the third guy that everybody was saying was going to be there because he quit Monday Night Raw. Was Kevin
So
Owens
if you're
there?
a dumb mark, you believe that? Yeah.
Well, I mean, aren't we all?
Well, I'm sorry, all you dumb marks. No, he was not there because he still works for WWE in a storyline.
Storylines are real. Don't you know wrestling's real?
Sure it is.
So, all right, so we had that. What was the first match that was on the pay-per-view?
That's what I was trying to remember, because the guy is three initials.
MJF?
That's him, and Josh Prohibition's tag team partner,
Matt Cross.
Matt Cross.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was that match?
Fair.
Was it? Who won?
It was just weird because it was like a high flyer against a submission guy. And it just didn't really play off very well.
Who won?
Matt Cross.
Okay. And Matt Cross is not necessarily a Chicago guy, I don't think, but he's in the area.
I mean, it was okay.
Yeah.
It just was kind of a weird mix.
Right.
And then the second match was Daniels and Green Arrow. And I seen why Green Arrow stick with Green Arrow. At one point, he tried to do a dive off the top rope through a table on Daniels, and he missed, and he caught the table alone, and the table exploded, and the crowd started chanting "Broken Arrow."
Pretty clever. So who won that match?
Daniels won, which is what should have happened.
Yeah.
So,
Is that who we picked? I think I went with the actor.
You went with the actor, of course, but no, I picked Daniels. Daniels won.
No, it wasn't.
But they actually held each other's hand up and put him. Everybody tried to put him over, and they were like, "Yeah, he does add something to a show." I'm like, "Yeah, if you want some Green Arrow fans in your audience,
yeah, you want some free publicity."
Exactly.
All right, what was next?
That's what I was trying to think. Oh, I think it was a women's match.
Was it the women's match?
Yeah.
Britt Baker, Madison Rain, Chelsea Green, and Tessa Blanchard.
Blanchard won. That's the best thing I can say about this match.
Yeah, and then did Tully them come out with her or after she went?
No, they come out with her.
Okay.
They may have been out there after too. I'm not positive, to be honest.
Right.
I think they were at ringside, but I'm not positive.
Okay. All right. What after that?
After that's the main event. I guess mid-card main event. I'm still
before intermission main event.
No, because they didn't ever do like an intermission like Ring of Honor does. But they did the NWA title match was Cody and
which we assumed would have been main event.
I really thought it was, and to this day still don't understand why it wasn't. So good match. Could have done without his wife getting in the ring. Couldn't have done it without the Daivari and the DDP spot. But yeah, besides that, good match.
Yeah. And Cody
went over and broke down crying and all that. He's one of the criers this weekend.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of wrestlers wanted to cry because of this whole, father son first ever. You did probably wet yourself a little bit too.
I don't care how devalued people say the NWA is.
I get it.
I'm a NWA fan, and to me that was super cool.
I would have been more emotional if the wife hadn't got in, took a stupid elbow drop.
Yeah.
Daivari hadn't come in, took a cutter. It's like y'all put them in just to be in it. Right. Dusty always had straightforward, beat the crap out of each other matches, and then won. Go watch the 3 titles that he won.
I'm gonna do that. That's a challenge. I'm gonna try to do that.
I mean, he never had any bullcrap interference, just didn't like that. So that's what took it away from me. I guess that's why I didn't really get emotional about it. I thought it was great. I'd called it. NWA would have been a fool to not do it, to be honest. Aldis was doing a decent job.
I mean, even if Nick Aldis wins it back tomorrow at Ring of Honor, it still helps him out because he beat Cody Rhodes to win the title back.
But right now, people that hadn't seen the NWA title in forever are like, holy crap, it's still alive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I dig it, man. All right, so what was next?
That's what I was trying to think. Oh, Joey Janela versus Hangman Page.
Street fight?
Yeah, and they had a great freaking street fight.
Did they?
Man, they did all kind of crazy crap. You know the move he does where he hangs him backwards, looks like he's going to go for the Alabama slam, he lands him on his head?
Yeah.
He gave that to him off a ladder through a table.
Wow.
Yeah, ow.
Yeah.
And that was the finish. And then out come Joey Ryan with 6 other full-grown men dressed as penises.
Yeah, that killed it for me.
And I was just like, why? And I get that they were trying to do the whole keep that storyline going they've been doing with the Elite, but I just don't get it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
And then the penises carried out Joey. Oh, not Joey. Hangman after. Yeah. So that kind of.
Yeah.
I was like, y'all just went from a championship match, then went and had a great street fight, and it ends with this crap.
Yep. All right. So what was next?
Let's see. Was it Pentagon?
Pentagon Omega.
I think Pentagon and Omega. And to me, that was the match of the night.
Yeah.
Who
won?
Omega.
What was the finish?
He hits the one wing
The
angel.
one wing angle.
And I think that's the only move they didn't kick out of in this
Yeah.
match. But, hey, bro, like at one point, he takes the cradle pile driver on the apron from Pentagon, and it looks stiffish.
I bet.
But the lights go out, and instantly they're out forever. I was like, and even the announcers were like, well, you know, it's a pay-per-view, our first time. We tend to have technical difficulties. And when he comes back in, Pentagon had lost some weight and gained some tattoos he didn't have before. And I was like, well, there's Chris Jericho's little entrance into the show. And he kicked the crap out of Omega.
It's pretty cool, though.
And hit him with a couple of chart busters.
I mean, Jericho's straight pulling out Memphis angles, man.
Yeah. But that was really cool. Beat the crap out of him. And took the hood off looking like a messed up version of Kiss.
Yeah.
And that was really cool.
That's cool. And then was it your main event after that, or was there more?
No, and then it was Okada versus
Marty.
And Okada goes over.
Yeah, we lost that one, didn't we?
But it was a good match. It was a little too long in my opinion. And I think that's why the main event was rushed.
Right.
And but Okada goes over with his lariat, the Rainmaker, and crowd was into it the whole time. Like I never heard the crowd really be quiet.
Right.
Maybe once, but I'll keep my opinion on that.
Yeah.
But
for the most part, they were loud.
Most part they were loud, and the part I told you about earlier, you know why they were quiet.
Yeah.
But the next match was the 6-man tag, and it was good for what it was. But clearly somebody or some people had gone long during their matches, and the 6-man match was very, very rushed.
Yeah, I heard that like as soon as the finish was over, like the pay-per-view was
They
over.
They raised their hand and it clucked off.
And like you didn't get like the...
No, because I think they were going to cut a promo.
Yo, there's a big celebration and stuff at the end.
And I was like, yep, somebody went long. Because you can hear them the whole match. Okay, you got to go home. Got to go home. Got to go home. It reminded me of the ECW first pay-per-view they did. And they thought he's running around the ring, saying, "We gotta go home now." And yeah, it was the same thing. Except they're in the ring doing it.
Yeah,
so
that was pretty fun.
They all basically hit their high spots and got the hell out of Dodge.
I dug that Mysterio was Wolverine. Like
Wolverine. That was really cool. It was a good match for what it was, but it could have been better if it would just.
Right.
If they'd cut 5 minutes off with certain other matches.
Yeah.
And
they'd had 5 more minutes, would have been better.
Because, I mean, to me, anybody paid $40 deserved to get the promo, which, I mean, it's out there.
Yeah, I mean, they put it out for free. So, that's the gas alert at Taco Bell. Somebody ate 12 burritos, and now the alarm's going off.
It's not the first.
No. It's the hurricane stuff. Yeah, we've got a hurricane coming in, so...
the skies are white and blue.
Right. But overall, it was good, huh?
Yeah. Besides this part.
So, we'll wrap it up here with the alarm, no better way to go out. September 22nd, Feel Invincible 2 at the Hideaway in Jackson, Mississippi. It's probably going to be a huge event. It started out as... not so big, but it's continuing to grow with the amount of people that's gonna be there.
Jesus.
We're gonna have a federated title match. Wasn't planning on that, but the champion Chance Aaron, he is gonna be there, and we're doing a poll on our Ego page. Check that out. Vote for who you'd like to see. See you next time.